Welcome to another tutorial with Creative Arena. Today we're going to do a different type of design where we're going to extend the top of our shell and then add some side accessories. I'm going to call this one shields and spears. Alright, so to get started, I've got my plan here. I'm going to do a plate on top, but I'm going to set some spears underneath to get some good target in because I want to be able to keep my opponents away. I'm also going to flip the plate over because I want to keep a flat surface with those skewers there, mainly because I'm doing a pointy skewer on both sides so that way I can add my attachments, which are going to be two foam bowls with foam shapes in them, and then those foam shapes are going to have a bunch of toothpicks on them. So let's get to the design. I've got my shell, I've got my skewers, and I'm going to need a lot of skewers for this one. I got my bowls with my foam shape in them. Alright, so the first part that I need to make sure that I have set up is that this skewer is a little bit different in that it doesn't have the flat part on the one end. And that's because I'm going to need it so that it will hold the two sides that I have going over here. So I'm going to glue this one right here in the center. I can use my grid lines on my shell to help me with that. So 3 and 3. And because I'm doing it straight across, I'm not going to do dots because I want this to hold even stronger. Alright, now the reason I want to do my plate upside down is to maintain that flat surface. As you can see, it also gives it a little bit of bounce. So I can always offset that bounce with a foam shape if I need to. But ultimately, I want to make sure go a little bit smaller. But ultimately, I want to be able to make sure that I have some balance. Now, that's why I am choosing to add 2 additional skewers to each side, because now this is going to offset and keep everything balanced with this middle skewer. So I'm going to go from side to side. Alright, so now I got my spears set up. Alright, and now when I put my plate down, I'll still have a little bounce in the middle, but as you can see, the edges are a lot more secure. So I'm going to mark them with my Sharpie. And then I'll glue. Now, like I said, you can, if you wanted to get the center to be a little bit more balanced, you could always try adding more of the foam balls just to give it that little extra cushion in the middle so that I can continue to build up. But ultimately, I think, let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's add it. Make an improvement as we need. And that's just going to help keep that plate in place. Because ultimately, we definitely want good endurance. Now, typically, each kit comes with 6 balls. But if you're at the event, you have access to the toolbox, which has additional materials for you to use. There's no additional charge for that. All right, so now I'm gonna glue my dots. And then now that I got these, I'm gonna glue right on top just to reinforce it. Because like I said, we want endurance. We want this to be able to stay on as long as possible. All right, so now I got my spears. I need my shields. That's where the foam balls come into play. Now, I'm going to poke a hole through the middle. And as you see, it stays pretty well. I want this to be about the same. So, now I've got that in place. Now, as you can see, these can still spin, which is cool because if I decide to add more to the shields, I can. I'm going to turn it upside down for a second so that I can put the foam shape in. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's going to keep the bowl on longer. I can glue it if I want, but if I don't glue it, I can keep that spin. So I'm going to leave it unglued. Now, this side is a little dull, so I'm going to poke a hole with the other skewer. Alright, now I got my shield, but I think we can do more damage by adding some more skewers. So let's do it. I'm going to add some skewers going across. And I think what I'll do is I'll do 2 this way. And then 2 this way. So to do that, I may have to go with a smaller shape. So let's do just that. Because I would want my skewers to be able to stay on. And if it's got that shape making it uneven, then they'll pop off fairly easy. So, alright. So I changed out these 2 shapes for 2 small cylinders, which do come in the kits. And now we're going to add some skewers to our shields, because why not? All right, so go across. I'm gonna do the second one. Alright, and then let's see if we could do two more across. Yeah, let's do it that way. Because this part will make it too hard for it to glue to the bowl. So this will also reinforce that to the box. Alright, now we got double the power. Alright. It's got some reinforcements, got some spin to it. Let's hit the other side. Alright, so now we got this side. We'll do the same thing. I think I got enough glue. And we're going to glue over it. Again, reinforces it. Okay, and you can spread them out if you wanted to. I kept them together. Alright, so spears and shields. I can always cut off some of the side plate to give it more ability to spin if I needed it to, but it's definitely got some momentum. It can move. I got spears, got my shields. Now, the other cool part with this is this makes it a lot easier to meet my criteria. So if I want, I can add my two balloons on this side, and this will keep them protected by both the shields here and the spears here. And then still gives me the ability to build up. I can put my other two on this side. I can even put them on the shields if I wanted to, so I have that as an option. And then of course, I have to remember the plastic bowl, because that will need to hold 3 bouncy balls. And so now we got spears and shields ready for battle. Hope this helps. Looking forward to seeing you at our next event with Creative Arena.